Hello, hello, and welcome to the tarot party. Okay, I'm going to make sure that my video is connecting. It looks like we are live. As you hop on, please say hello and let me know. Have you ever had your cards read before? Do you read cards? Do you have a favorite deck? Tell me, tell me. I love to be able to share this beautiful sacred practice and technique with you of reading the cards. So let me go ahead. I see that we have some people who have popped on. I'm going to go to a place where hopefully I can see comments a little bit more easily. And you know what? I'm going to bring my phone in. So as you hop on, if you'd like me to pull a card for you, drop your name in the comments and I will pull a card for you. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. Let's see if I can see myself. I can't even find myself. I see that I'm live. Let's make sure that it's actually streaming. Holy cannoli. Oops. Did I? I think I'm live. All right. So as you pop on, drop a comment. I'm going to keep a look for the comments, but for whatever reason, I'm unable to see comments right now. And I know that you guys are probably leaving comments. So let me check one other place. If I refresh this screen, maybe I'll be able to see comments. All righty. Let's see. Because this happens during the weekly live. But in the meantime, while I'm looking for this, what I want to say really quickly is I do want to say that the way that I read the cards is I look at it like a weather report. And the weather report, the idea is that, we figure out what's happening today. What's the temperature like outside? Is it sunny? Hi, Ryan. Glad that you made it. Is it sunny outside? Is it hot? Is it pouring down rain? Is it freezing? And basically, that's the energy that I could encounter if I go outside. I can't do anything to change the weather, and I can't necessarily blame the weather person for the fault of the weather. Sometimes we get angry at them, but it's either going to be hot or it's going to be cold. But by being informed ahead of time of what's going on with the weather, I can actively decide and choose how I'm going to engage. It gives me a heads up. So for example, it's really, really hot here. We had a big storm blow through and I didn't know that the storm was coming. So that was me being unprepared for that energy. Whereas if I'd taken some time to look at the weather this morning, I would have figured out, prepare, bring an umbrella, or maybe don't go out during this time because the storm's going to be pretty bad. It actually took 2 shutters off our house. It was crazy. Hi, Donna. Glad that you made it too. Fantastic. Okay. So as I'm here live, holy cannoli, I see my friends popping up here in YouTube, but for whatever reason, I don't see it in Facebook. Holy cannoli. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to pull a card and I'm going to read for the whole group because we have a full moon coming up. And this full moon is coming up on Sunday, and it's a second full moon in the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Depending on your definition of what a blue moon is, some people are considering this a blue moon because it's 2 full moons that we're going to get in the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Some people say 2 full moons have to be in the same month. It's a little bit of everything. So what I'm going to invite you to do is I'm going to invite you to just place your hand on your heart, whether you're considering it a blue moon or not, meaning we just get an extra opportunity to do deeper work. It's a little more rare to get a full moon in a year. It's an opportunity to really shine and reflect on parts of our life that maybe we have to work on with more strategy. Maybe there are areas that we have been, it's easy to ignore certain responsibilities if it's not, coming down on our head. But with the moon being full again in Capricorn and Saturn in retrograde, you're really being encouraged, okay, what are the areas in your life? What responsibilities, what structures, what traditions really need to be addressed in order to shine and in order to glow and in order to really reach your heart's desires? Because if there's something that you haven't been attending to, it might actually be sabotaging you in the long run. So let's go ahead and we're just going to read for the full group. And I'm going to just ask, what's the most important thing that you need to know about the upcoming full moon? 7 of Pentacles. So the 7 of Pentacles, what that represents is it represents the energy of tending to what you've already planted. So on new moons, it's a wonderful thing to plant a new idea, an inspiration, set an intention for a goal or a project, anything that you're working on. And this full moon is saying continue to tend it, continue to give love and pay attention to the details of whatever you're growing. So for example, let's say you've been working on a project or even looking to find a new job and you've sent out the resumes. This would say, okay, great. You have an intention of finding a new job, maybe looking for a promotion. You've put a few feelers out. Follow up. Reach out to those people, do your due diligence, check in, make sure that this really is the next step that your heart wants to take. So what I'm going to invite you to do is with this full moon, and I think I see some people, some people can't see me live for the tarot party. Okay, hold on. I'm going to see if I can make sure that I'm in there. I know what I'm going to do. I have an idea. So here's what I'm going to do. This is tending to the details. We're going to go live like this. Start live video. Here we go. Hold on 1 second. I know what's happening. All right. Thanks for being patient with me, guys. Go live to start the video. Let's see, live video. Aha. Here we go. There's always a button. All right, Ryan, have a good night. I'll pull a card for you. Okay. Here we go. Welcome, welcome. Okay. If you can see me, give me a quick hello, my friends in Facebook. Thank you, Donna, for your patience. I'm so grateful for you. Okay. I'm going to just let some people know. Thanks for the heads up. All right. Should be live now. Yay. Wonderful. Phew. There's always an extra step. Holy cannoli. All righty. So for those of you who are jumping on with me, oh, good. I'm glad you'll be back, Ryan. Catch you soon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All righty. So Jupiter is in Gemini. That means sometimes we have to do things twice. So thank you for everyone who has joined me. And Haramia, what a beautiful name. You're working. I'm glad you could join in the fun. Hello, Julie, Shannon, Amanda. Yay, Sarah, Elena. Hello. Holy cannoli. Phew. I tell you what, technology, always a joy to figure it out. So just as a quick little recap, some people heard this already, but if you didn't, so you know how that I work with the cards and I read them, I really see them like an energy weather report. I don't see them as something scary. I know many times, even before I knew about tarot and what it truly was about, it's like, oh, I don't know if I want a reading because I don't want to know that something bad's going to happen. Here's the thing. This is like the weather. It's saying, hey, there's a storm coming. We had a storm blow through this afternoon, which was unexpected to me because I didn't look at the weather report this morning, and it blew 2 shutters off of our house. Now, if I'd known there was a storm coming through with high winds that was going to just kind of pick up out of nowhere, it's been high heat today, one of those summer storms that pop up, I wouldn't have been so shocked to see things flying by my window, kind of like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. I really thought, oh my God, my house is falling apart. Everything's fine, but it took me by surprise. So that's like what the cards offer us, is the ability to say, hey, this is the energy you might encounter this day. And as you tune into that energy, this is what you can be prepared for moving forward. And it enables you to really enact and engage your free will, to know that life isn't happening to you. You get to choose what to do next. The upside is you're not caught off guard. And that's what I really love. The other thing is that it helps you develop the language of intuition. How? By sharpening your awareness to see patterns, by learning how to trust your gut, because it's like, oh, I knew something was going on with them, or I knew to double check before I moved forward. This gives you that heads up. So you start to really pay attention to those little inklings and nudges and hints. It starts to really get you in tune with asking and opening a dialogue to look at your decision-making process from many different angles. So let's jump into the reading here. Linny, so great to see you. And Mary, hello. And Janet, so glad you made it. Chrissy, good evening. Kimberly, yay. And Jane, fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to start reading in the way that I saw people popping up. I'm going to just invite you to know that as I do this reading, keep your ears open because messages sometimes piggyback. I may be reading for one person, but another person may get an inspiration as the message is coming through. Oh, I get goosebumps. And that can happen. You might receive something even though I'm reading for someone else. Okay, so, and thank you so much for letting me know about Facebook, guys. All right, so Donna, I'm going to go ahead and pull a card for you, placing your hand on your heart. What's the most important thing that Donna know about this beautiful full moon in Capricorn that's coming up? Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is full of inspiration and energy. There is a reminder to be mindful of your energy levels. It's very easy to burn the candle at both ends and overwork and overextend ourselves because she's so excited. But she does lead and inspire others with her light. So as we're going towards this full moon, what I would encourage you to do, Donna, is know how much you impact other people's lives. Know how you lift them up and you inspire them. Continue to bring that forward into the world in such a way that you don't burn out, that you don't overextend yourself. So maintaining your energy levels. Because it's a moon in Capricorn, which is an earth-based energy, I would invite you, if you get a chance, I know you're very connected to the trees, to go out and to just sit with the trees and just to simply be and to take in deep breaths and start to visualize what kind of practice you want to bring forward when it comes to leading and inspiring other people. All right. And Haramia, that's such a beautiful name. I hope I'm coming close to pronouncing it properly. I'm going to pull a card for you, placing your hand on your heart. What's the most important thing that you need to know? Seven of Wands. So this is, you don't have to defend your choices. People might be poking at you and asking you, why? Why are you doing it that way? How about this? What about that? Don't you think this would be a better idea? And with this full moon, it's saying stand in your power. The solar plexus is all lit up, her tummy. And she's being reminded that she's done her due diligence. She's done her homework. Capricorn, they have a vision for the future. They know in their gut what they need to do. Other people might not understand. So this is a reminder that you don't have to waste your breath explaining why you're making certain choices and decisions. You can be respectful and polite, but you don't have to explain it to anyone else. Beautiful. Okay. Hello, Christina. Yay. And Donna, you said, whoa, such a beautiful reading and so relevant to you. Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, hug your trees tonight. Love those trees. Woo. Okay. So some popped out. So I'm going to just pay attention to those. All right. And Christina, placing your hand on your heart, we're going to tune in and just ask what's the most important thing that Christina needs to know going into this full moon. Nine of Pentacles. So Nine of Pentacles is a reminder to slow down and smell the roses. You've been working really hard building something. And as you're building into it, it's sometimes, we're working so much to get to somewhere. We keep putting all our energy and our love and our focus into it, but we don't get a chance to actually enjoy the fruits of our labor. I'll never forget a client who worked so hard and they realized, I never actually get to sit in my backyard and just enjoy the sunset. I'm always, I come home from work, I've got to do the laundry, do the dishes. And by the time I finally sit down, it's 10 o'clock and it's dark. And they work so hard. So just carve a little time for yourself to enjoy the energy and all of the beauty that you've built around you. Hermia, I'm so glad you said, that resonated for you. That was perfect, you said. And Christina Ray, that was for you. Okay, so let me see what I'm missing over here. Kimberly, I'm so glad you're here. Arlene, hello. Kim, hello. Kalani, yay, you're here. Welcome. Karen, hello. I can see your comments. Yes. Nope, you don't need to sign into StreamYard at all. Pam, hello. Need some insight? Okay, fantastic. And Cindy, hello. Okay, so Julie, you were first. That popped up in my list. I'm going to go. Oh, Christina, you said, oh, so perfect. Oh, I get goosebumps. So glad to hear it. So Julie, placing your hand on your heart, we're just asking, what's the most important thing you need to know for the full moon? Knight of Cups. So bringing some sweetness into your life. The Knight of Cups, whenever we get a court card, whether it's a knight or it's a king or queen or page, what they're doing is they're either representing aspects of ourself or someone in our life. And the Knight of Cups is saying bringing some sweetness and some romance into life is an important thing. Giving yourself some time to slow down and to know just how loved you are. There are things that are easy to forgo or to go past when we're caught up in the hecticness and the chaos of life, because life isn't easy often. And the beauty of knowing the language of intuition and connecting with your friends in high places, as I say it, your angels, is that we have support even when we feel like we're all alone. And this is a reminder that doing something just simple and sweet for yourself can add volumes of energy into faith and hope that things will work out. And it could be something as simple as bringing flowers in from the garden into the house. It could be taking a nice long bath or a long shower. With the energy in Capricorn and knowing that you are a Capricorn, something that I would do, which is very interesting how it comes through, is salt. Whether, you could put sea salt or like a salt bath, but to almost rub the salt on your body to help release the toxins. There's been so much harshness in your world that sweet words are important right now. Even if you talk to yourself sweetly, it will make a marked difference. Somebody was just sharing with me again an old Bruce Lee quote, and I won't remember it exactly, but it went along the lines of, be mindful of the words you're saying to yourself, because we're always listening. Our subconscious is always listening. And those words are powerful. They can cast spells. I say that's why it's called spelling, because our words are powerful, whether it's the words we're thinking, feeling, saying to ourselves, believing. This is not an easy practice. It's one I have to watch myself every single day. The other thing that I would encourage you to do is just even like write a word on your arm or your tummy or your heart, just like love, or to draw another little heart, just to bring that love and that sweetness, because you're standing up for a lot of people and offering a lot of love right now, Julie. I know. Okay. All right. So true. You said indeed. Thank you. Words matter. They do indeed. Words matter. It's your motto. I should have known how it came through like that. I love it. Okay, Shannon. So placing your hand on your heart, Shannon, and we're tuning in. How can Shannon make the most of this full moon, the star? How good, or how do I want to say this? It's more like, how big can you dream? This is a card of limitless possibility and opportunities. This is a card that reminds you to hope and to wish on a star. When we go into those dark night skies, we can't even begin to count the number of stars that are up there. They're limitless. And this is reminding you that your intuition is very sharp now, and that there are many different pathways and opportunities for you. So with this full moon, because it's a full moon in Capricorn and it's the second full moon in the zodiac sign of Capricorn, what I would invite you to do is I would actually invite you to write down your hopes and your wishes, to write them down. And if it, take a picture of it or make a copy of your hopes and wishes, and I would bury it into the earth, kind of like a plant. You could even take it so far to bury it with like a little sunflower seed or another plant that you have, or near a tree, so that tending to the tree, tending to the plant is a reminder of you to tend to your dreams. But I would encourage you to take a moment to write down your dreams. What are they? Because when we physically write them down, things change and shift. There's something incredibly transformational about writing the dreams down. I want to combine all these words. Yay! Hello, Kajal. Yes, welcome. So I'm going to pull a card for you because I see your name popping up. Placing your hand on your heart, Kajal, I'm just asking, what's the most important thing that you need to know about this full moon coming up? The Magician. So you have all the tools at hand in order to make your dreams come true. So whatever you're working on right now, if there is a dream or a project that you have in place that you want to bring into being, know that you don't have to look outside of yourself for the answers. You have the skills you need to make this come through. Sometimes we might forget, sometimes we might lose our way. This is encouraging you to pause, to remember the gifts that you bring to the table. And if you feel like you need access to a resource that you don't have, pause and make that request. Make that request of God, of your higher self. Where can I find this information? Where can I learn the skill? Where can I access this resource? What's my next best step? Because the pathway will be opened up to you. Yeah. And Donnie said, what a beautiful practice. Plant your hopes and dreams. Yeah. I like that, because the cool thing about that is through ritual, we have the tangible practice to help our subconscious understand. Because if we just think about it, it gets kind of lost. It's important to write these things down, and it's nice to have a practice to go with it. So Amanda, I'm going to go ahead and pull a card for you. So with your hand on your heart, what's most important for Amanda to know with the full moon? Seven of Cups, sorry. Lots of choices. And it's kind of like, oh, which one's right? So right now you might be a little bit overwhelmed, and you might have that feeling like, is this, are these choices on the up and up? Would this be a really good decision for me if I went in this direction or if I went in that direction? Because some of the cups, we kind of feel like, there's the original Ghostbusters movie, they use Zener cards. I don't know if you guys have heard of Zener cards, Zener. And they were developed a long time ago by a psychologist professor because he was trying to understand psychics. And so there are 5 different symbols that are used, if memory serves me right. And in the Ghostbusters movie, Bill Murray's character is holding a Zener card like this, and he's got a nerdy guy and like a beautiful gal, and he's like, okay, tell me what this card is, what shape is it? The wavy lines, the circle, the star, the square, yada yada. And there's this feeling of, when you get the card right, when you intuit it correctly, you get a reward. But if you intuit it incorrectly, you get a shock, and it's like, so there's almost that feeling like if I choose incorrectly, I get a shock. I get a little bit of a hit. So there's a hesitancy to move forward and to make a decision. What I would encourage you to do is know that it's a highly creative time. This is a great card for writers. It really expands imagination. But if you need to make a decision, know that making a decision right now would be uncomfortable. It would be very challenging in the sense of there's so many options. You're not quite sure what's in your highest and best interest. This is a card that encourages you to wait just a moment. Don't move forward just yet. The fog will clear. There's like a fogginess. And what will help, I'll pull another card, is what can help to move forward through this fogginess, 8 of Wands, is that there's a message coming in. Sometimes there's this urgency, act now, act now, act now. And yes, there are opportunities that come our way, and we have to be mindful, and we need to take action. But this is saying, before you jump into it, wait a moment, because there's more information coming in, and it is good news. So if you're at that decision point, just give yourself a moment. You can put a time limit to it, a week. And there's kind of a fun practice to that with astrology, as far as putting a time limit, knowing how long to wait before you make a decision. Conversation for another time. Hopefully that makes sense, Amanda. And you said scrolling through Facebook dating today for the first time, lots of choices. Okay, good. Yeah, I was going to say, right? And that's kind of like, you never know. This one might be the one, or you might get like a little zap. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that you're here, Amanda. Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen you at a tarot party. And Shannon, you say, you will say you have been dreaming about writing the book you wanted to start 2 years ago. Goosebumps. You just bought Julie's book. Fantastic. And you're excited to get started. So Julie Brand, who's on the call, Words That Matter, she has a wonderful book. I always look over here because it's hiding on my bookshelf. But like how to write a book, how to get it published. Julie, if you're here still, drop the link to your book in the comments, because that would be great. So any of you out there who have been looking to write a book, you need to know Julie. Holy cannoli. Yay. All right. And Janet, you said you think you need guidance now. So I see you popping up now. I'm going to go ahead and pull a card for you. With your hand on your heart, we're going to just tune in, and we're going to ask, what's the most important thing that Janet needs to know for this upcoming full moon? 2 of Wands. So it is a decision point. It is a crossroads. Two of Wands, you've got this beautiful professional woman. She's in her office. She's got the globe. She's got her VW bus planner or flyer there. There's a little surfboard. She's dreaming of the day that she can finally go out and play and not be stuck in the office. So there is a decision point. There's a lot of dreaming and thought that's been going on. With this full moon, what I would encourage you to do, because ultimately we need to come to the decision ourselves. We can ask for guidance, we can ask for help, but what the energy is saying is they're recognizing, they, meaning God, meaning the angels, your higher self, are recognizing that you've been thinking about something and that you need to come to a decision. I'm going to encourage you with the full moon. So full moon Sunday, Saturday night, write down what you're trying to decide. And you just write it down, and you can write as much as you want or as little as you want. And then you can roll it up and place it in a pillow underneath your bed, like your bed. Write it up, place it under your pillow or under your bed, and just say, okay, angels or higher self or God, I'm going to hand it over to you tonight. Please help bring a solution while I dream. And then when you wake up in the morning, even before you come out of that little kind of foggy state, whether you record it on your phone with the voice memo or you just grab pen and paper, start writing down anything, even if you don't remember your dreams. Write down a feeling, write down a color. And what will happen is it's like pulling a thread. The rest of the dream will come through to you because it is being recognized that you're at a crossing point. So that practice with the full moon can be helpful, most definitely. Oh, Julie, thanks for putting the link on to your book. Wonderful, wonderful. And Shannon, you said you bought the book a couple weeks ago when I mentioned it, and it seemed like perfect timing. Yay! Oh, I was so glad. It's such a good book. Man, if one of my girlfriends who wrote a book had that like 5 years ago, she would have been saved a world of heartache and tons of money, because holy cannoli, that did not go well. Kimberly. All right. So Kimberly, a card for you. Such beautiful energy. The heart of a healer. So with your hands on your heart, and just tuning in, how can Kimberly make the most of this upcoming energy? The sun. I love it. So this is a joyful card. This is getting out and playing. And you posted a picture recently, Kimberly. I don't know if it was from now or if it was, like sometimes Facebook will post memories and we'll share them again, but you were hiking and you were outside and it was just radiant. This is encouraging you. Have fun, be playful, get out and outside and enjoy yourself to the fullest. I just saw there's been a lot of people who've transitioned in the last couple of days, a lot of celebrities. And my heart's, I didn't know them personally, but they're these beautiful icons. And, when they pass or when they transition, it affects your heart because maybe you grew up with them, so to speak, or maybe you've known them for a long time. One's Richard Simmons, and my mom and I would always do Sweatin' to the Oldies, and Shannon Doherty I just found out about today. And there's a heaviness, and Shannon Doherty had posted a beautiful Snoopy cartoon. Donna, you'll appreciate that. You always find the good Snoopy cartoons. And it had Charlie Brown saying, "We only live once." And Snoopy said, "No, we only die once. We live every day." Oh, and I get goosebumps. And that's what the Sun card, Kimberly, really is bringing up and stirring within my heart, is that reinforcement of we live every day. We die once. And by that reminder to find the hope and the playfulness and the joyfulness in each day, which you do so well and you bring through to your clients. For those of you who are on here, Kimberly's an amazing healer. She's a Reiki master and she teaches Reiki and initiates those in it as well. Just absolutely incredible. So you already spread so much joy. Yay! Hello, Amanda K. I see you popping on. So we're going to go ahead and pull a card for you. I'm just saying hello to your energy. I'm going to ask on your behalf, what's the most important thing you need to know for upcoming full moon? 7 of Pentacles. So 7 of Pentacles is a reminder to continue to pay attention to the dreams that you've planted. It's easy to sometimes set an intention or set a goal, and then we get distracted. We forget about it a little bit, or it's hard. For example, let's say we have a goal of getting to bed earlier so we can get more sleep. But then we're like, oh, I just want to watch, one more show. It's only a half hour. And then it's like, oh, maybe one more. And next thing you know, we're up later than we should be. So this is saying, look at the data, look at the details, pentacles, earth related, and make sure that you're on track to reach your goal. So if it's, making sure you're sleeping better or healthy activities or with a budget, you're just going back and you're looking at the details. Am I on track to reach my goal? Let me check the data. And if I'm off somewhere, I'll make the necessary adjustments. And Donna, you said Snoopy's your hero. Yeah, most definitely. You're welcome, Janet. And Elena. Oh, and you're welcome, Kimberly. I see your name popping up, Elena. So I'm going to just tune into your energy and ask, what's the most important thing that Elena needs to know? The Fool. So a new journey begins. Ooh, chills. This is where we take a leap of faith and we go for it. We just do it. We may not have all the information. Other people who are wiser and more experienced might kind of look at us and wonder what we're doing. But this is where we feel so called within our soul that we defy logic and we make the jump. We take the leap. We go for the risk because something deeper within our heart is compelling us and propelling us into this forward adventure. We can no longer stay stagnant. Something has completed and a new journey is beginning. So the amethyst is with her, that beautiful crystal, which is a fantastic reminder of trust your spirit. Stay in touch with your intuition. Make sure that if your gut says, hold off or go now, that you listen, that you pay attention. And whenever we're developing intuition, in the early days, it's nice to, when we're trying to understand the intuitive hits and nudges, the inklings, do it with small things. So for example, you might get the feeling, go to the grocery store now. And you do, and you run into an old lost friend, or, oh, check your email now. Oh, Irina sent an email, a tarot party. Let me check it out. Follow those little inklings where it's not a big deal if you follow it and you're like, oh, well, I was off. I didn't get it right, or, was no big deal. Because over time, when you do that enough, it's like developing a relationship. You can trust that you're going to be getting answers that really are correct for you, that resonate. You'll be able to distinguish when it's just in your head, and your ego is kind of telling you do this now, versus you need to do this, call this person. And that's what I teach all about in my Mastering Intuition program, is how to develop those intuitive gifts. But even with the cards, you're starting to understand there are new opportunities coming your way, Elena, these little nudges and hints all along the way. And when I kind of ask a little bit deeper what's going on, I feel like something's shifting within your career, new opportunities there, and maybe into an area that is a little bit different for you. You could say outside your comfort zone. Maybe it's an opportunity to make a movement in a slightly different way. But I would pay attention to those opportunities that are coming your way. All right. Hey, Donna, I'm glad you're over there. Fantastic. So hopefully that made sense. Cindy, I see you popping up next. So tuning into Cindy's energy, how can Cindy make the most of this beautiful full moon coming up in Capricorn? The Fool card came up again. Fantastic. So something about the Fool card that's not in this beautiful artist, Chris Ann is her name, made this deck. It's called the Light Seers deck. Love this deck. And it's in the link in the description. You can check it out. But in the original Rider-Waite deck, there's a little white doggy that barks at her feet. And when I pull a card and it comes up twice for, two different people, it's not always necessarily the same message. Another thing about reading the cards is that I might look at the card and get one meaning, and another person look at the card and get a totally different meaning. This is just a tool that Spirit is using to help me deliver a message to Cindy in this case. And when I tune in and I'm like, okay, what's most important for Cindy to know? I see that little white dog in my head, which is in the traditional deck. And the little white dog is barking at the person's feet. And the white dog is kind of, there's twofold purpose to the dog. First is sometimes it's a distraction, and sometimes it's trying to get our attention. Sometimes as a distraction, it's kind of like the barking dog, like being in the bad neighborhood. Are you sure you want to do that? Do you want to take that leap? I don't know. When we have a dream and it's in its early stages, it's very important that we're mindful of who we share that dream with. Because if we share our dreams with just anyone, they might have their own fears or worries or their own biases that they bring to the table. So, for example, let's say you always wanted to go into the arts, but you had, you're looking into it and you're so excited you get this opportunity to audition for this play or for this dance, and you share it with a family member like an aunt or an uncle, and they say, oh my God, that's the worst. You need to go to college, you need to do this. What are you going to do? You're not going to have health care. And they squash the dream completely. So be mindful of who you share your dreams with in the early days. Be mindful of the barking dog, even the way you talk with yourself. Start to pay attention to it. What I would encourage you to do from now until the full moon, Cindy, is be mindful of the way that you talk to yourself and the people are talking around you. Make sure it's talk, so to speak, or words that uplift you. We want to be grounded, Capricorn, the moon's in Capricorn. We want to be logical. We want to be pragmatic and grounded and do our due diligence, our research before we take a leap. But at the same time, if there's just a lot of negative Nellies and naysayers, you're just going to be mindful and you're just going to step away from it and to change the languaging, the way you speak with yourself. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, I'm just checking in. Elena, yes, you're working on your resume, Elena. Oh, I get goosebumps. Holy cannoli. I don't know if you guys can see my goosebumps. Holy cannoli. Elena, this is so exciting. A brand new leap of faith. Oh, I can't wait to hear what happens. And Ryan, welcome back. Glad you made it. Okay. So tuning into Ryan's energy. How can Ryan make the most of this full moon? 3 of Cups, being in community and celebrating. So this is the perfect place to be. And then full moon too. I would encourage you, be in community. This is about coming together and celebrating. The 3 represents an opportunity to find a place where you belong, to find a place where you're like, I can laugh, I can come together, I can celebrate. Even if you were to invite a few people over and say, hey, we're going to just have a full moon party. We're going to look at the moon. Maybe we'll have a bonfire. Maybe we'll just have dinner. Maybe we'll watch a movie. It doesn't have to be much, but this is saying take a moment to really celebrate being with friends, to being around other people, whether it's virtually, whether it's physical, in person. This is really highlighting a time to remind yourself that you are also one that who can bring people together. It's always fascinating, and this has come up with a lot of my clients recently. It's a very so I'm going to back up a little bit. Aquarian energy. Right now in the heavens above, we have Mars and Uranus coming to a conjunction. They're coming close, giving each other a hug in the skies, for lack of a better way to say it. And in that conjunction, what's happening is here's one interpretation. Uranus is about belonging. It's about innovation. It's about finding a place where there can be creative community. It's innovative. It's different. It's taking the whole into account. In modern astrology, Uranus rules Aquarius, and Aquarius really thinks about the larger group at hand. And sometimes, because belonging is very important to Aquarians, where do I belong? Where are my people? Where is my community? It's a wonderful thing to remember that we can be looking and looking and looking, and we may never find them. If we don't find that community, create that community, invite people, welcome them in. Again, even here in this community, as we're together, so many of you are connecting. I love it, like Shannon and Julie and Donna and Ryan here. This is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So encouraging you, celebrate with community this beautiful full moon. Okay, Jane, hello, I see you popping up. So I'm going to pull a card for Jane. What does Jane need to know for this upcoming full moon? How beautiful. Chariot, success, victory. So if you have been wondering and Here's the thing, and I get goosebumps again that I see about this particular card. It doesn't feel like something you've been working on. It feels like a decision that you've been waiting on. Whether it has to do with legal matters, whether it has to do with a decision being made outside of yourself, success and victory are on your side. These two horses, sometimes they're seen as sphinxes in the Rider-Waite deck. It's a little bit challenging to see here, but they're going in two different directions. And the charioteer, it's up to them to help harness these two different energies of yin and yang, going right and going left and being chaotic. But they can do it. They can do this. They can ride this energy. The other thing that this represents, that I'm being encouraged to reminded to share with you, is that it can represent a move or it can represent a trip. And so with the decision that's being made, if there's something to do with a move, if there's something to do with a trip, the opportunity is going to come forward for you. And in some ways, it almost feels like something's going on with your home, Jane, yeah. And it feels like, yeah, I don't know if you've been waiting on something around your home, a decision or the like, or even possibly selling your home. And that's just coming through intuitively to say. So I'm just kind of taking a leap of faith there with that. But it does feel like success is on your side, most definitely. Victory is on your side, and a move is in place. And you have free will. You get to choose, if you want to continue to move forward or stay on the same path. All right. Yay. And Sarah, thanks. You said great readings. Great to have you. You're welcome, Cindy. All righty. So I do see someone popping up who's asking for a reading, but for whatever reason, I can't see your name. It looks like you're watching on Facebook, but I don't see it post on Facebook. So Sarah, I'm going to pull a card for you. So if you're someone who said they wanted a reading and you said, me too, please, just type your name in for me. Otherwise, I'll do a reading for you, but know that it's for you. Okay, but first, Sarah. So tuning into Sarah's energy and just asking as we come towards this full moon in Capricorn, what's the most important thing Sarah need to know? The Emperor. So this I love. The Emperor is someone who is wise, who this isn't their first rodeo. This is someone who's very strategic in their moves. They're divinely inspired. I love this light that the artist Chris Ann brings in. They're not rushing into a decision. They're taking their time. Why? Because they know the benefit of being mindful with their decisions and their choices. They're not being pushed around by anyone else. They're not, emperors or, heads of state. They have advisors and they have insight. But in this sense, you're getting advice from divine, from source, from God. There's the energy of the ram that shows up, meaning there is an energy of persistency and tenacity present here. You've got the energy to make your move. You have the strength and the courage and the knowing of what to do next. Don't feel rushed into any decision. Take your time, enjoy yourself, and just, I would encourage you with this full moon, if you get a chance, there was a beautiful walk you described to me once. I think it was there was a waterfall that you had walked near, and this was a little bit of a drive from your home, if memory serves me right, and you walked there. I would encourage you, if you go for a walk, to walk, because walking is a great way to get inspiration and ideas. And many of the great leaders and CEOs, I know Steve Jobs created a beautiful set of trails somewhere around Apple's headquarters, so he could just go out and walk and he could think and his imagination could go. So there's processing that needs to happen. And I would encourage you this upcoming weekend or week, if you get a chance, Sarah, go out and just enjoy yourself with a nice long walk. And Donna, you said my readings are so spot on. Thank you. Oh my goodness. And you said you feel that you need this reading too. A decision your son needs to make. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear he's so ill. Oh, you're just waiting to see the outcome of his decision. So I'm just, if we take a moment for all those who are on the call to just say hello to Donna's beautiful son's energy and to his higher self. And if his higher self is open to it and gives us permission, We're just sending uplifting thoughts and just love and healing energy if his higher self wishes to receive. And just send in some love his way, some healing energy. And Jean, you said this makes, you're so welcome. It makes perfect sense. You said, oh, good. I'm so glad. Oh, good. All righty. So next in line, I'm just going to kind of, what I'm doing, holy cannoli, everything's popping up in my way. All right. So if you haven't gotten a reading and you typed your name in, do type it in again. Karen, I know that you're on here. I saw your name at some point. So let me pull a card for you. What happens with the comments is that Facebook will only let me scroll back so far. Okay, so I'm saying hello to Karen's beautiful energy and just tuning in and asking what's most important Karen needs to know for this full moon. 5 of Wands. I'm smiling because some other things are coming through too. I'll have to leave you a message. 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands is encouraging you to not beat yourself up. 5 of Wands, there's this feeling of being in a competition or a race where we're trying to reach this goal. And as we're trying to reach this goal, we're doing all these gymnastic moves. And there's one deck, and I don't remember which it is, that I really love because sometimes this card is represented as being in competition with other people where we're like in a race and we're kind of trying to be the first one to capture the flag. But the way that it pops up often for me when I see this card is the image that I saw in another deck, which is this tree trunk with its tree branches. And the tree branches, they were basically hitting the trunk, signifying and symbolizing there are times where we can really beat ourselves up. Like, why aren't I there yet? I should be there by now. I should be faster. Why hasn't this happened? There's a real feeling around a particular love in your life. And there's this feeling of give yourself a moment to breathe. What happens, even when we say, you know how they say about, and I can't remember the quote exactly about competition, like we're only in a race with ourselves. We only want to be better than we were before. But still sometimes I think, we can set our bar very high and it's like, oh, why haven't I done this yet? And such and such. I want to invite you to allow the wands, which represent inspiration and energy and drive and passion, to fuel you rather than inflame or irritate you. And what I mean by that is, and this is for everyone, have you guys ever, let's say you wanted to learn more about something, whatever it is. Maybe it's cooking a particular type of food or recipe. Maybe it's an exercise. Maybe it's a skill for your job. And you go down the Google rabbit hole or YouTube and you're searching, and all this advice comes up. Oh, you know what you should do? Do this. Wait, do this. Wait, do this. And we become so inundated. And, there's a lot of good advice out there, but it just overwhelms us. And then we kind of get into this frozen state, like, I can't do anything. And we become inflamed almost or irritated. And it's just like, oh, I need to unplug. I'm never going to get this. It's not going to work. Forget it. I'm stepping away. Whereas sometimes the less fire is it inspires us. It lights us up. So if you've just felt inundated with all of these things, learn this, do this, try this. What I encourage you to do, Karen, with this full moon is light 5 candles. So this is 5 of, I get chills. This is a neat spiritual ritual and practice coming through just for you. Light 5 candles with the full moon, whether you do it Saturday night or Sunday. And those 5 lights just represent all the inspiration in your life. Oh, what would be great for you? This. Oh, do this. Oh, this is, all you have to, it's so easy. Holy cannoli, right? You light the 5 candles and then blow out 4 of them and say, I'm going to release this inspiration or idea. I'm going to release this one. And just imagine as you release it, it's going to a parking lot or it's going to a big golden bucket. Or you ask your angel, can you hold on to this for me? Because this is a good idea. It's just too much right now. And 4 candles, blow them out and say, this candle, this is the one I'm going to allow myself to be inspired by. And if you wanted to make it really fun, you could almost like write a little piece, like choose 5 ideas or inspiration. If you want, write them underneath the candle on a little piece of paper. try to not know which is where, which is what, because maybe it's like, oh, prep your meals this way, or, whatever it is, right? And then just see what's left to focus on. Hopefully that makes sense, Karen. Inspired by the dreams coming through. Okay, awesome, Karen. I'm glad you'll try that. Yep, you said. Oh my goodness. Mary, yes. Thank you for posting again. So I'm going to pull a card for Kailani first, and then for you, Mary. I appreciate all of you posting again. So tuning into Kailani's energy. So beautiful. And I don't know if Kailani rides a bike. I just get this image of you, and I'm trying to remember. It's just a beautiful image of a breeze, because I'm forgetting what your name means and translates into, but it's such a beautiful name. Getting this beautiful breeze over the ocean and the islands, and just this image of you, freedom on a bike. So I'm just asking what's most important that you need to know, Kailani, moving towards full moon. The Empress. And the Empress represents that something is building, something is growing. The reason often that this card is represented by a woman who's expecting is because it's symbolic that things take time to grow. Sometimes we can get frustrated, and there's a wonderful story about manifesting, and it's told in a couple different ways. I like this one, where it's like one morning we decide, oh, I want to have corn for dinner tonight. So, out we go into the yard and we plant our little corn seedlings. And then we go out again at lunchtime and we water our little corn, and then we check on it in the afternoon. We're watering it, and dinner comes and we're like, nothing has happened. I have been watering this corn all day long. It's gotten plenty of sunshine. I made sure the soil had enough nutrients in it. Why don't I have corn for dinner? This is ridiculous. It's like, well, corn needs longer than 10 hours to grow. So this is a reminder, Kailani, that whatever you have been working on, whatever you have been putting your heart and your mind and your energy into, it's coming to fruition. It's in a cycle of growth, and not to give up, but to continue doing your work and continue to pour your energy and your love into it. I love the reminder of the moon up here and the moon cycles. I would encourage you to just be aware of the moon and how it affects your energy levels and how it affects your creativity. With the full moon coming up, something that, it's interesting, the image that's coming through. I just have a real calling for art for you. Try to remember if you did a lot of artwork, but I would encourage you, even like the single line drawing, or because what it's going to do when we have our hands busy with something is it quiets our mind so we can hear the inspiration. All right. Yay. Oh, you're welcome, Mary. I'm so glad that I think it was a perfect reading. Holy cannoli. All right. And a card for you. Tuning into your energy. Most beautiful Mary. What's most important for Mary to know going into this full moon? The Fool. So the Fool is, again, this has come up a lot tonight. It's about new beginnings, but and I get a goosebumps. Here's the thing that I have to share with you, Mary, that's really coming through is down here below. Again, this is unique to this artist in this card. And what I love is that she has a sacred geometric shape here that comes from the flower of life. It's called the seed of life, SEED. And what it represents is just like an acorn holds the blueprint for an entire oak tree. There's a blueprint available for you on next steps, on taking those steps. Like, what happens next as I begin this new journey, as I begin this new, it really feels like new life. How do I move forward? How do I live? The clues are around you. And there are, how do I want to say, so when it comes to the language of intuition, we all experience intuition a little differently. There's 4 main ways, many more than that, but 4 main ways: clairvoyant, clairsentient, claircognizant, and clairaudient. And what that means, clairvoyant, we might see things, not always with our eyeballs. Yeah, okay, sometimes maybe we see dead people. Do you ever see that movie, The Sixth Sense? Maybe you see colors like auras, But more often than not, when people are clairvoyant, they get images or pictures that pop into their head. Like, oh, that reminds me of a movie, or that reminds me of that painting. Or like I had the little white dog, the image pop into my head, like a memory popping up. Clairaudient, yeah, maybe you hear things, disembodied voices. Oh, that'd be scary. But more often than not, people hear high pitches. They can also see like bumper stickers, or they get words like they wake up with a song in their head in the morning. Claircognizant, that clear knowing, we just know. We can't explain why. Many times we've been called a know-it-all because we just know and we're right. So claircognizance is a clear knowing. And then clairsentient, you feel things, like you get goosebumps. One of my mastering intuition students called them God bumps, which I loved. It's like we just resonate, like, oh, that's truth for us. Something bigger's here going on. Maybe hairs on the back of the neck, maybe upset tummy. So we just start to notice this. When you know how you speak the language of intuition, then you can notice the patterns and the signs of your angels, of God communicating with you more easily. So, one way that I feel like my angels and source or God sends me messages is through bumper stickers. I love it. And, I might have a question in my mind, or I might be thinking about something, and up I'll see a bumper sticker, or I was trying to think of an example, and one was when I was teaching the Mastering Intuition program many a moon ago, it's like 10 years ago, and I was doing a course just on this very unit. I was driving behind someone, and they had on the back of their car, because I was thinking, oh, I want to just I'm developing an exercise to introduce people to their guardian angel. Like, how do you start a conversation with your guardian angel? And I was just thinking, okay, angels, please help me out. And the car in front of me had a bumper sticker like "Got Angels." And it's just funny, things like that pop up for confirmation. And that's what I mean by this like little blueprint, the seed around you, Mary, is that there are these little kind of Easter eggs or little presents all around you with the information and the guidance. They might come in the form of bumper stickers, they might come in the form of pennies, they might come in the form of songs that pop up on the radio. Here's a great one. Before I hopped on, I really feel like my Uncle Pat, who's up in heaven, who energy teacher of mine years ago said, oh, he's with you. He's going to be a helper to you. Wonderful, like a spirit guide. Before I came on to the call, I smelled the cigarette smoke, and he was a smoker. And I was like, oh, Uncle Pat, hi. Right. So that would be a clairsalience, where you smell. That's another intuitive gift. Clairgoustiance is a taste. Sometimes you taste things. Yeah, it's endless possibilities. But these are little clues and little hints, Mary, all around you, guiding you as you're taking the next steps forward. I get goosebumps. What I would encourage you to do is I would encourage you, and this is what I teach my Mastering Intuition students, is make an appointment. And when I say make an appointment, either with your higher self, with your angels, with God, and just say, and you could create a little sacred space. I've got my little sacred space over there that I sit at in the morning to do little meditations. I have a crystal grid set up, and I've got just affirmations and reminders. Every year I do a sacred geometric shape vision board of what I hope to work with. And I'll sit there, and I encourage you, find a space that you can go to every time you make your appointment. It could be like Monday at 10 a.m., once a week. It could be every day. It could be 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes. Doesn't matter. It's on your calendar. You've made an appointment because what you're doing is you're recognizing and giving respect to your angels or to God or your higher self. And you're just saying, I'm going to honor this time. I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to simply be. And with that, and you could kick it off with the full moon, I would encourage you to have some kind of practice just to soothe the mind and process any emotions that come up. What I go to are the mala beads, and I don't know if you all are familiar with mala beads. And so the mala beads are beautiful, 108 beads, and you can say an affirmation or a mantra with them. And there's lots of different options. And Mary, we can connect too off, and I can give you more guidance on that if you need it. But I would encourage you, make an appointment, sit down, and you could even just have a conversation, or ask a question. But the mala beads and having a practice with that can be very nice. And Mary said, ooh, goddess bumps here. And a few tears. Blueprint and pennies are spot on. Aw, you're so welcome. Bouncing goodness off the moon to you. Oh, thank you. Mwah. And the same to you, beautiful Mary. Oh, and Donna Marie, ooh, you say yours is songs and numbers, the way your intuition comes through. Yeah, numbers are another great one. I know many people on here too. They're mastering intuition students are on the call, get numbers. Oh, and I'm so glad Kailani loved it, Mary. Wonderful. And Kimberly, you said, wow, you felt that too. Oh my goodness. And Donna, you said, love this practice, going to have to watch replay if there is one. Oh, there will be one. Yeah. Writing all the ideas down. Oh, good. Well, that's why I love getting together like this. And this is why I call myself an energy alchemist, because I tune into the energy of those present. And I've been doing this since my early yoga days, teaching like 25 years ago, or over the last 25, 30. Oh, I don't know. It's been a long time, since the 90s. That wasn't too long ago, right? But what I do is I tune into the energy and I'll create unique energy recipes for you, because my goal is to connect you with the sacred practices and tools that enable you to step into the life you were born to live. So that's why I've certified and initiated in and learned as many different sacred practices as again, certified in tarot, working towards my 500-hour international astrology certification, certified in energy healing and crystal healing and mediumship and Reiki, and oh my goodness gracious, I'll learn it and bring it to you, most definitely. Okay, so with that being said, Kim, you popped up. Alrighty, I'm gonna do a reading for you, and I'll do so if I haven't done a reading for you, please pop your name on so that I can pull a card for you, because we'll do this for another few minutes. So tuning in to Kim E. Morgan's beautiful energy. I don't know if you have any doggies, Kim. I'm just saying hello. If you have a doggie, I'm feeling a doggie's energy around you. I have my one little fur baby in here. Usually Gracie's in here. But I feel a doggie with you. So I'm just saying hello to them and just asking, what's the most important thing that Kim know? The moon. Oh, and look, they're wolves, but they pop up here. So the moon card. All is not as it appears to be. With the moon card, many times we get very frightened and worried because things look different in the dark. And so this beautiful woman or mermaid is under the water. And as the moon is shining down through the water, the water refracts the light. So the moon doesn't look exactly like the moon. And there's shadows and there's these doggies or wolves howling. And it might feel a little bit like, holy cannoli, what's going on? I always think of movies like Monsters Incorporated when I see this, where I think about how in the dark at night, especially as when we were little, we might have seen shadows on the wall and we might have been like, oh my God, there's a monster in my room or under the bed. And we turn on the light and we realize, oh, it's just a shadow from my toy. And this is saying things look different in the daylight. So take a deep breath, and it's kind of like a reminder to get a good night's sleep. Things will look better in the morning. They'll look different in the morning. This is a highly intuitive time. The moon is a highly, highly intuitive psychic card. And what can happen, and this is why I teach mastering intuition, why I created the whole program. Intuition and raw psychic data are very different. It's a spectrum. So when you have someone who's incredibly psychic, they're getting all this information in at once, and it can be overwhelming. And many times as children, that happened to many empaths, and we tend to shut down our gifts because it's scary, because maybe when we were scared in the dark and we saw things, we were actually seeing spirits or we were picking up on energy. Another one is always be mindful if you have a party at your house, do not pile the guests' coats on your bed, because you get all their energy onto your bed and it'll make it so tough to sleep. So you have to clear the energy then. When that data is just coming in, it's overwhelming. So if we can learn specific skill sets on how to work with that raw psychic data so that it's more intuitive, we have more of think of it like a faucet. Like you can control the flow of the information. For example, a lot of my students, my Mastering Intuition students, they have a gift of mediumship. They can talk with loved ones on the other side or other people. And what happens is sometimes, I had a client, she was in the grocery store and she got a message for someone. She just walked by the people and she got a message that was coming through. And it's kind of like, really? Now, she's learning the process and she has this tools and gifts in place and she decided to share the message. But here's the thing. You can learn, if you have the gift of mediumship, to basically say, listen, stores close, shops close, come back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Like, I'm not working right now. We're just going to flip that little close sign. We're going to draw the shades down. Not working. And then there's a whole other process when it comes to mediumship and doing it in a healthy way for you. But conversation for another time. It's what I go deeper in with my Mastering Intuition program. So with that being said, what I'm going to invite you to do here, Kim, is as I'm going, oh, Chrissy, yay. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. What I invite you to do is to give yourself a moment to know that if you have a lot of information coming in, a grounding practice, which a full moon in Capricorn is very, very helpful with, will be beneficial to you. And what comes through for you specifically, there's I'm going to type it in the comments. James Asher is his name. And I'm trying to remember the music. I'm just going to put that in. Feet, oh my gosh, feet in the soil, something like that. But if you have good music with a drum beat, or if you played a drum, like if you do like drumming circles, play something where you can just, it's a very grounding music where you can just kind of like a drum almost, to get you into a very grounded place. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense, because what you're going to discover is the more that you ground, and grounding through that beat or grounding through like a dance to feet in the soil. That's what it was. Feet in the soil. Thank you, angels. James Asher. So when I went through my Natural Rhythms Priestess Process training program and certified with an amazing teacher who created that, she used to be a dancer, so she had us do a lot of dance. Okay. Yeah, Christine, hello. I'm so glad to have you. And Linny, oh, good. I'm so glad. Yes, thank you. Arlene, yes. And Chrissy, fantastic. So let me pull cards for all of you. Yay. Thanks for typing your names back in again. We're typing something. So Chrissy, saying hello to your beautiful energy. I'm saying hello to your daughter's energy as well. So what's most important for Chrissy to know going into the full moon? The Fool card. Holy cannoli. This is like the card of the night. Oh my gosh. So what's coming up for you specifically, Chrissy, with this card is the precipice. Do you know how sometimes, did you guys ever have like a high diving board at a pool you went to? Growing up, we had this pool that we could go to, and they had like a high diving board. I don't know what that means. When I was little, it was like 100 feet tall. Maybe it was 10 feet. Maybe 12 feet. And I remember like trying to get the courage, and you go up and you're there at the edge, and your toes, like when they teach you how to dive, or at least when I was taught how to dive as a little kid doing swim classes, nothing serious, it was curl your toes over the edge. This is almost kind of like, Chrissy, this feeling of you've gotten the courage to climb to the top of the diving board, and you're at the end and your toes are curling over the edge, but all of a sudden your mind's kicking in like, ooh, the diving board's kind of slippery, and ooh, it has a lot more bounce than I thought it would. And how do I use all of this? And how do I make that jump forward? It's almost kind of like your mind is overthinking. So what I would encourage you to do, it's a little meditation practice. And it's a meditation practice to calm the mind and to also open up your intuitive abilities, your clairvoyance. Because you have, speaking of mediumship, you have a very incredible gift to see things clearly as soon as the mind gets to a place where it's not thinking, because you have a fast mind where thinking of strategy, like for your clients, when you work with them, I'm sure you hear them, say, oh, I'm going through this and I'm going through that and I don't know what I'm going to do. And your mind automatically starts to create the solution. Like you can see it almost. And hopefully this resonates. But the mind is always going. It's always finding the patterns, so much so that it can overthink. And if you get into a place where you can feel, because what comes through to share for you, Chrissy, is the wind in her hair. And it's kind of like when you lick your finger and you're like, okay, which way is the wind blowing? Because then I'll know how to jump in the dive. Which way is the wind? How do I'm going to feel into this rather than think into this? So the meditation, the way it goes is you think of a figure 8 or the infinity symbol. And with your eyes, you almost kind of trace this infinity symbol in front of you, where you're letting, with eyes closed, your eyes go up and then down and then up and then down. And it's kind of a crazy practice. You don't have to do it too long, but let's just say you do 3 to 5 sets of that little infinity symbol. That can be enough. Or if that's too much, I don't know that I have it readily available. Let me see. There was so like when I say I do a lot of trade, like this is like back in the day of like CDs and discs. I even have oh good, this is it, I think. I even have tapes. I don't have anything to play them on anymore. But let's see. I don't know if this is exactly what I was looking at. This comes from Donna Eden and her energy medicine, but this is her Tibetan eye chart that she has you practice. And so the idea is like with your eyes, you trace around all the edges. This is really elaborate. You could use something as simple as just drawing an infinity symbol and doing that. And why am I saying the infinity symbol? Well, it's going to balance left and right hemisphere of the mind, the logic with the intuitive or the creative. And it's this feeling that there are endless possibilities. So anyway, we'll go with that. Hopefully that makes sense. And Kim, you said you do not have a dog currently. But you were very intuitive and closed it down as a child. Oh my goodness. And you said, oh my God, I dreamt there was a ton of coats on your bed. And couldn't figure out what it meant. Oh my God. You do have the gift of mediumship. Yep. Which you've not tuned into totally yet. Yeah. Things come to me and learning control. Perfect. You're so welcome. Yeah. So learning to control it. Yeah, that's a big thing, Kim. What I would encourage you to do is have a grounding practice. And many of you guys and gals who are on here with me know the traditional one I teach, where you connect head and heart. You drop a grounding cord from tailbone down through 6 layers of earth, the very center of the earth. If you don't have that one, I will put this in the comments. You can get the little audio from it, and I'll put it here. Okay, so that's a nice grounding practice. And even just claiming seniority in your space, Kim, can be a great way to begin. Okay. Oh, Pam. Oh, no, I'm gone. Oh, no, wait, come back. I'm glad you popped up. Okay, so Chrissy, I saw you. Arlene, I'm going to pull a card for you. And then Chrissy, you said you love how you learn more with me every call. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so glad. I love to teach. So thank you for being here. Okay, so tuning into Arlene's energy, saying hello to Arlene and just asking what's most important for Arlene to know about full moon. 2 of Cups. There's a partnership and a connection. So with the 2 of Cups coming up for you, Arlene, here's what I really feel. Sometimes this can, so Cups is love. Cups is emotion. A 2 is when we come together. Yes, it can represent decisions and choices, but when you have the 2 of Cups, it's really about a partnership. It's coming together and joining with someone else. It could be a friendship, but many times it's a love match. And so I feel this connection right now, or a longing within your heart for that love. What I would encourage you to do you know how life just gets so busy, and you'll hear things like, oh, it's important that we date our spouses, or it's important that we have, like, because this is even sometimes like soul friends, we have time with them where we can really listen. This reminds me right now of just that gentle nudge of it's time to kind of look into your partner's eyes and to really listen with your heart, because life can get busy and we've got a lot of stresses and worries, and we might be like, hey, how you doing? Okay, great. All right. And then we go on and we're running from one thing to the next, and there's always to-dos. But I feel that this is an encouragement for you to have a real soul connection. There's a beautiful book called Anam Cara. All right, I gotta pull this out. This is like book night. Okay, hold on. Where did it go? It's on my bookshelf. Ah, here it is. Okay. Are you familiar with this one? So, Arlene, Anam Cara by John O'Donohue. Anam in Gaelic means soul friend. And so I'm encouraged to share this book with you because there's so many beautiful passages in it about the importance of connecting with others on a heart level and on a soul level. And I feel that the card that's coming through for you right now, here it is, the Two of Cups, is just saying your soul really is craving that heart connection, whether it's with a partner or whether it's with a friend, but to truly be there and to feel seen and to feel heard, to be with someone where we can be completely ourselves and we don't have to put on airs, we don't have to be polite. We can let all of our, how do they say, let all of our warts shine through and still be okay. So hopefully that makes sense, Arlene. So, and Chrissy, you said, yes, that makes sense. Spot on with your mind taking control and overthinking things. Okay. Yeah. So something for your eyes to focus on could be a good practice. And Kimberly said, thank you so much. You're amazing. Oh, thank you, Kimberly. You're amazing too. And Kimmy Morgan, I love that. Thank you. You added James Asher to your Apple Music. Good. When I was reading for you, your eyes were burning. Oh, not sure what that was all about. LOL. You'll try the grounding too. Yeah, try the grounding. Yeah, it's very interesting about the eyes. So, yeah, ground, that can help. On a side note, when it comes to energy, for those who are very sensitive to energy, when you feel heat, that represents symbolically, traditionally, now will everyone experience it this way? No, not necessarily, but many people do. When we feel heat in our body, it represents that we're going through a transformation. We're transmuting the energy because energy is always in existence. We can't create it, we can't destroy it, but we can transmute it. That's why I love using the term alchemist. Because again, an alchemist, many times people think of the alchemist as the ones who are trying to turn lead into gold. But it's really about this transformation within our own being so that our spirit finds that freedom, it finds the beauty in life, feels the connection to God. And that's really what I'm here to help other people do, is to create that stronger connection with their friends in higher places, to open up that dialogue and conversation with God. So when we feel the heat, that can be transmutation. It's really transmutation and transformation different. Conversation for another time, but you're transmuting the energy. If you feel cold all of a sudden, it's a release of the energy. So interesting stuff. Okay. Oh, thanks, Arlene, for the heart. Pam, yay, you're back. Wonderful. Okay, so Pam, tuning into your energy and just asking, what's most important for Pam to know with this full moon coming up? Ah, Page of Swords. There's that song by Frank Sinatra coming through. I did it my way. Do 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 do. I won't sing it. I can't even think of the rest, but and I did it my way. This is encouraging you. Don't listen to all the chatter around you, the gossip, the talk, the blah, 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 blah. You're following your path. Keep your nose in your book. Pay attention to where you're going and what you're doing. You've got bright ideas. Don't let the naysayers throw you. So, this is about continuing to move forward and being very mindful about who you let into your head. There's that old quote, don't let them, live rent free in your head, kind of thing. So a practice, thinking about a practice that can help with that. Because, when somebody, like, words start playing in our head, somebody said something and it's like the broken tape. Well, I'll go to this one. I had an energy teacher, many I'm going to go, like, Irina, just eject it like a tape. Just press here. Go eject, eject. So if a bad set of thoughts or words pops up, go eject, eject, and eject them. You get into old technology. So Pam, that's for you. Okay, and Christine and Linny. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card for Christine and Linny. And if you haven't had a card, this is like last call. Type your name in the bottom of the list. I'll make sure. Let me check over here what I've been missing. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. And the person who has been posting. Oh, thanks, Lexi. looking at the comments on our Facebook. Oh, so someone who's new here, basically seeing many get readings and you keep posting nothing. Oh, holy cannoli. Oh, thanks, Lexi. I appreciate the help. Okay, so let's see. All right. I'm sorry, the person who didn't who didn't see this. Okay. All righty. All right, so here it goes. Trying to catch up with some of these comments. From here, I am going to pull for Christine, and then we'll pull for Lenny. So saying hello to your wonderful energy, Christine, and just asking what's most important that you need to know. The magician. I love it. So you are the creator of your reality. You have everything you need to manifest what's deepest in your heart. The tools are at your fingertips. Here's that figure eight that came up that I was talking about earlier with Chrissy. What I love about the figure eight is that in numerology, it represents prosperity and abundance. And the magician is all about manifesting. So with this full moon, what I would encourage you to do is I would encourage you with full moons, generally speaking, it's nice to charge your crystals. I would encourage you because having something physical and tangible is so powerful to send a message to our subconscious when we're looking to create something in our life. I would encourage you to choose a sacred geometric shape, and it could be the infinity symbol, right? Let's say you choose the infinity symbol. Choose 3 crystals that represent to you or can support whatever you're trying to build and manifest. Maybe it's healing, maybe it's relationships, maybe it's bringing prosperity and abundance in. For prosperity and abundance, many people will use pyrite, aventurine, jade, and quartz. Quartz crystal is great for amplifying. So the 4th quartz, we don't really count that in the 3. And you just place them on the figure 8 or in a figure 8 shape and charge it in the full moonlight. And I have a whole course on creating crystal grids. Christine, I already know you know how to do this. We can always chat on the side too if you want more guidance. But I would encourage you charge the crystals in the full moonlight and utilize that as an anchor for what it is you're building and creating, because it's there within your reach. You have access to everything you need to manifest your dream and make it come true. Ooh, goosebumps. Yay! All right, and Linny, I'm going to pull a card for you. And Jerry, I see you pop up. All right, so tuning into Jerry's, well, hold on, tuning into Linny's energy first. Hello, Lynn. Have to say hi to your hubby for me. And just saying hello to your beautiful energy and just asking what's the most important thing Lenny need to know. 9 of Cups. It's a fairy godmother card. So this is definitely a make-a-wish time. This is like, oh, great for playing the lottery. This card I love. It's a fullness of joy. It's this excitement. It's this happiness. I would encourage you to make a wish with this full moon. Have that, I wish I may, I wish I might have this wish I wish tonight. Star light, star bright, for star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might have this wish I make tonight. Something silly like that. Here's a really cool thing about developing intuition. The sing-songy rhymes help us shift the energetic grooves that we can get stuck in when we might, how do I want to say, it's because it's deeper than mindset work. But when we're kind of stuck in a rut, if we get into, a tight fix, kind of like the old days when we were growing up, if something caught on fire, they'd say, stop, drop, and roll. Sing-songy rhymes the subconscious can remember when we go into fight or flight. So as we go towards that full moon, for you, there's that reminder that a wish is a dream your heart makes. I don't know, maybe it's a night for watching Disney movies. But it truly is an opportunity for you to make a wish and to open yourself to the possibility of it coming to you. It's really a beautiful card of good luck. It's go for it. So if you've been looking for good luck, to have the fates on your side, so to speak, this is a great time. I would make a wish, most definitely. Yay! You're welcome, Christine. And Jerry. Okay, we're going to pull a card for Jerry and just ask, what's the most important thing Jerry needs to know for the full moon coming up? the Emperor. So the Emperor is, here's the interesting thing about this particular card. It's come up tonight before, but how I see it playing out for you, Jerry, is I love in New York City how you have the parks like Washington Park where you've got people playing chess and they've got the timer going. And it's almost like the sands through the hourglass. And there's this feeling of like, okay, I made my move. I'm going to, hit the stopper on the clock. I would encourage you, whenever there's a big project or something large that we're working on, it can be overwhelming. But if we have little goals along the way, it's kind of like hitting the stop, like hitting the clock. So you don't feel like, again, you're not rushed into decisions or choices or making a move. The Emperor takes his time. Why? Because he knows that more information can come to the surface when there's a waiting. This kind of reminds me of like that old lawyer trick that I never knew about until way late, where the person will just be silent and then the other person gets uncomfortable, so they just keep talking and they confess or they divulge more information. This is basically saying, I don't need to know everything. Like, I don't need to, how do I want to say this? It's interesting. I don't need to take action right away. I can just pause because more information will be divulged to me. I'll set a goal, I'll reach that goal, and I'll just hit stop on the clock. And I'll be okay with being silent. One thing that was really interesting to me in my early days of learning yoga, I wanted to study Sanskrit because I wanted to make sure that I was pronouncing the names of the yoga poses properly, like Adho Mukha Svanasana, Chaturanga, downward dog, the yoga push-up, the Chaturanga. And I took a Sanskrit class. And the woman who taught it, she would teach it, and she'd have no problem leaving these long silences and pauses after she said something. And it was so strange, and it was a little bit uncomfortable, but more than anything else, I was observing the fact that she taught, and she was okay with long periods of silence. She wasn't filling each moment with teaching or with knowledge. And the pauses became very significant. So there's power in the pause, is what's coming through, Jerry, to share with you. There's power in the pause. Take that moment to just simply be and allow your words to settle on others. Allow more information to be divulged and come to the surface. And know that you'll know when to make the next move. All right. Okay, fantastic. So thank you guys so much for joining. I did pull a card for the whole group at the very beginning, but I know there was some trickiness getting this up and running. So I'm going to pull a card again here at the end. Just in general, what's the most important thing for you to know in the week ahead? So anyone watching now or in the replay later on, what's the most important thing you need to know? There's that infinity symbol again down there. So this card, the rebirth and death card, meaning that it is a time of transition. It's a time where something is ending and something new is beginning. This is not a literal death card. What this represents is we're saying goodbye to something in our life. One door is closing so another door can open. We can't go through both doors at once, as much as we might want to try, have a foot in each one. This is like we can't ride two horses at once. We have to choose our horse. We have to choose our doorway. So I would encourage you this week, be kind to yourself, be compassionate. And if something looks like it's kind of shifting out of your life, or if something isn't giving back the energy that you're pouring into it, there's not a divine energetic exchange, it doesn't feel balanced, just take a moment to pause. And it's okay. It's okay to release it and let it go. And a burning bowl ceremony with the full moon is a great way to kind of have a healing release and open yourself up to what is coming in, because we can't receive the new things when we're walking around with our hands closed and tight fist. We have to let go in order to receive. All right. Beautiful. Let me see. Fantastic. Okay. And Donna Marie said, you love the infinity card. Yes, in the transition. And Jerry said, thank you so much. Hit it right on and it helps. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. Have an amazing night. Thank you all for being here live. Much love to you, Julie. You are amazing as well. I look forward to catching you on the flip side. Keep your eyes open. I'm going to be offering a masterclass this week on continuing to develop your intuition and different ways to do it. So if you'd like more information on that, drop a little heart emoji and I'll make sure I send you a direct link. All right, much love and sweet dreams. Bye, guys.